Aliens are real, and they've flown a giant object into our atmosphere. You play as the scientist Kate, who needs to survive and uncover the mystery of the aliens. That's the setup for Scars Above. Gameplay-wise, it's quite straightforward, but has some unique twists, which I'll explain later. Indeed, I don't like to waste your time, so let's jump straight into it. This is a third-person shooter from the developer Metahedron Games. You play through a mostly linear story with some tiny side paths to explore. There are light Metroidvania elements, and when you die, you'll go back to a checkpoint. As you progress, you'll encounter more enemy types, and there are several bosses to defeat. To beat these bosses effectively, you need to hit their weak points. While you can deal damage outside these points, it takes much longer. The game is about 8 hours long, and regularly goes on sale for around €6 on Steam. On other stores, you might find it even cheaper. The game has light horror elements. It's an action title, but there are constant jump scares, like an enemy leaping out of the water, or more intense moments where multiple enemies jump out together, including a larger one that explodes and charges at you, giving you only a few seconds to react. Beyond the enemies, the overall tone of the story, environment, and world is quite dark, adding to this unsettling atmosphere. The story is a key focus of the game and is generally seen as solid. However, the gameplay has an interesting twist. It's elemental-based. For example, you start with an electricity weapon that deals extra damage if you shoot enemies standing in water, or you can use your ice weapon to freeze water and damage worms. It goes a bit deeper too. For instance, if you freeze an enemy first and then use electricity, you deal combo damage due to the water from the ice. This mechanic is important depending on the difficulty you play on. Even on normal, it's tough to avoid using these effects. On hard mode, it gets quite challenging, and you'll need to maximize your use of all the elemental effects to survive. As you play, you'll find knowledge cubes that give you experience points. Leveling up earns you skill points, which you can use to unlock abilities like more health or extra ammo when you're out. These upgrades aren't massive, but help keep things fresh, especially later in the game. To wrap this up, I know all of this felt pretty straightforward. But some games are straightforward, and I try to keep my explained videos as neutral as possible. It basically comes down to this. If you like story-driven third-person shooters with a twist, Scars Above might be worth checking out, especially at that price. If this was helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Regardless, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.